Welcome back to JPTV. We're your anchors. I'm Peter Downing.
And I'm Anders Morgan.
Today we'll be covering the charity ball, Marvel, the issue with Ukraine and Russia, and sports.
Bradley Dillon and I interviewed student body president Julia Stradinger about the winter charity ball, as well as a few students who attended.
I'm here with student body president Julia Stradinger. Julia, what was your involvement in the charity ball?
So I wanted to have a winter dance because Tori, the president last year, tried to have it and couldn't have it. So I thought we should try it, and COVID, less restrictions this year. So kind of took it to Dr. Neely and got help from Hallie, and he did not want us to have another dance. But so I kind of thought about that. He didn't want the dance to not have a cause, I guess. And so I thought of kind of incorporating it with the charity. And then someone mentioned Shower Power to me, which is our service partner. And so decided to partner with them, and all the proceeds would go to them. And we also did donations during the week. So I thought it went really well, and we were able to raise over a couple $1,000s. So that was really awesome.
That's awesome. So girls were not allowed to wear heels in this dance, right?
Yes. And so I wanted it to be in the gym because I feel like that was more authentic, and we've never had that at prep. So I thought it would be fun. But the Coach Mack and Coach Wise did not want heels on their precious gym floor. So I came up with the idea of just doing tennis shoes, and I thought it was fun. I mean, we've never done that, so I thought it was fun.
Yeah, well, thank you. Okay, so Riley, this was a girls ask guys dance, correct?
Yes.
So did you pay for your date to get in?
Yes, I did.
How much?
It was $40 for both.
That's a whopping price. Do you think that is worth continuing this trend next year?
Yes, it's for a really good cause.
Thank you.
The price to get in the dance was $20. And if you're nice and pay for your date, that's a $40 fee to get into a dance. How do you feel about the price?
It's a bit pricey, but it's for a good cause, so I'm all for it.
Let's rate your overall charity ball experience.
Well, Bradley, despite the many promises made by our President Julia Stradinger, such as bops and Chick-fil-A, we still got to dance, and I had a great time, and hopefully the rising seniors will get to have another one.
Perfect. Thank you.
This week, Jake Vineyard, Cameron Moore, and Ryan Groby decided to figure out what exactly, however, was going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and try to figure out why people want to keep paying so much money for these fictional heroes.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake Vineyard, and today I am joined by resident Marvel expert Ellen Waits. Ellen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jake. I'm so excited.
That's good, that's good. So just to kickstart the interview, 2021 for Marvel, how was it?
Okay, it was a very big year because of COVID. Everything got pushed back, and most of the things got pushed back into 2021 or further back into 2023 and 2022. Mm-hmm. So we saw Black Widow, was supposed to come out May 6th, 2020, came out in July of 2021. So you started the year with all the Disney Plus shows that a lot of them filmed during quarantine. Mm-hmm. So you started with the year with WandaVision. And this year there was only 1 or 2 weeks through the entire year with no Marvel content. Because you started with WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Loki in June, and then Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man, Hawkeye.
Big year.
So it was a lot of TV shows this year. But what the TV shows are doing, which is great, is they're setting up the expansion of the Marvel Universe. Because what they've discovered they can do after the success of Endgame and their first Infinity Saga is they can get away with it now. They know that what they can do is going to be successful. I will say Loki was probably my least favorite Marvel thing of this year.
Hot take.
Hot take.
What was your favorite?
Oh my God, I'm going to sound so basic, but I have Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm a Spider-Man gal.
No, I get it. First, just real quick, before we move on from 2021, Spider-Man. Give us your thoughts on Spider-Man. Know you're a big Spider-Man fan.
Okay, I love Spider-Man, and I think that I will not say a favorite Spider-Man. I know it's a big thing, but I think they all do. He has the worst Spider-Man takes. Don't listen to him. They all bring something good to the character, which is why I think this movie was so successful. Mm-hmm. Because Andrew's body language is so good in the Spider suit. His comedy is great. Toby's heart is great. Tom's energy, and they're all great in their own ways. So when they all came together, it really was the best of all the worlds, because you got to enjoy every part of it. And it was just
why do you think people want to see these characters so much? Why do you think people keep coming back?
Oh, they're just fun to watch. I think a lot of people get told it's not a good movie unless it's serious and dark and people are like,
Yeah.
have you seen Pulp Fiction? Like,
Yeah.
because that's what's like considered like a good movie. And these movies are just like fun to watch, and they're like big spectacles, and like they'd be good if even if they weren't, because they're just like good characters, and they're characters that have been set up for a while, so people know them. So like, for example, like Hawkeye, like you've known him since 2012, and you got to see a TV show about him, you're interested. Also, when you know Marvel's going to deliver, now that they've got their formula down, you know that they're going to deliver a good, entertaining movie with fun characters, and so like it's just something that's going to bring people back.
Yeah. Well, Ellen, thank you for that insane amount of info on the Marvel Universe.
Yep.
Thank you for your time, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Margie Fry and Sheila Ferguson introduced their new segment that talks about the recent problems of key cards and their malfunctions.
Welcome back to our new segment, Ferguson and Fry Wonder Why, where we talk about things you probably didn't know.
Today, we're going to talk about key cards and wireless chargers. I know y'all are probably wondering why these two relate, but we're about to tell you.
Have you ever shown up to school and your card not work? Well, this has been a problem for students and faculty. Close to hundreds of badges have been damaged this year alone.
Let's show you the problem. Wireless chargers. If you have a phone pocket for your badge and also a wireless phone charger, these two combined causes damage to your card.
Wireless phone chargers work with a magnetic loop antenna to create an oscillating magnetic field to generate the energy to charge your phone battery.
Your badge has a magnetized copper coil that holds the programming and allows your badge to operate. When the two are put together, the magnetic field of the charger wipes the programming of the badge.
So the lesson here is don't keep your badge on the back of your phone while using a wireless charger.
And that's all for this week. See y'all next time.
Now let's jump into the world of prep sports. We'll be back in a minute with William Dees.
During your time here at Prep, you're going to find a home for academics, a home for the arts, a home for athletics,
Schedule your tour today.
Here at Jackson Prep, we strive for excellence and greatness. We take pride in our athletes, our program's histories, our facilities, our state championships, and our all-sports awards. The Booster Club allows our athletes great benefits. With the Booster Club, we are able to remodel facilities such as the new locker room under the stands or the new women's weight room. We would like you to join the Booster Club today at jacksonprep.org.
On Tuesday, the basketball teams went down to Hattiesburg to play against the Presbyterian Christian School. The Lady Patriots went into the game with a conference record of 6-1. They would use an explosive 3-2 third quarter, led by Andy Flaggar's 20 points and Kennedy Sanders' game-high of 6 rebounds, blowing out the Bobcats 40-28 on their home court. The tale would not remain so sweet for the boys, however, as they went down early to the Bobcats, even by the heroic efforts of Lampton Moore's 17 points and 9 rebounds. They would fall 41-39 to the Bobcats. The Patriots play Hartfield at home Friday night, and we congratulate the boys team who have now locked up a bye for the 6A tournament. The girls only need one more win to lock up a bye and lock up the 1 seed. The boys soccer team had a full slate this week. Monday they lost to Hartfield in penalty kicks. Tuesday they went down to Hattiesburg and blew out the PCS Bobcats. They meet the MRA Patriots tonight in an important conference battle. That's it for sports, but we'll be right back after this quick commercial.
Have you ever wondered, where can I get my Jackson Prep apparel? Well, then I've got the answer for you. Right here at the Jackson Prep Patriot Shop, open 3 days a week on Patriot Avenue, we've got everything you need. We got t-shirts, we got tank tops, we got sweatshirts, we've got sweatpants, we've got polos, we've got blankets, we've got teddy bears, face masks, and other fun accessories. We've even got duffel bags and stadium chairs. And we've even got football. So shop till you drop at the Patriot Shop, open 3 days a week, right here on Patriot Avenue.
Discover your voice.
Discover your creativity.
Discover your opportunity.
And your dream.
Discover your vision.
Your vibe.
Your passion. And your moment to shine.
Join Applause this school year as the Fine Arts program at Jackson Prep leaves a lifelong impression on students' hearts and minds. We would love to grow this legacy with your support and dedication. Join Applause today.
About 100,000 Russian troops are gathering on the border of Russia and Ukraine right now, and the world is waiting to see if Russia will invade the former Soviet territory. But why? Well, here's why. The Russians feel threatened. Ever since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, countries that used to be part of the USSR, like the Stan countries and other Eastern Bloc countries like Latvia and Lithuania, have now joined NATO. And the Russians see this as a threat. I mean, after all, NATO was created post-World War II as an alliance of countries against communism, mostly Russia. Russia's border with the West is no longer buffered by a border of neutral countries. Up until about 2012, almost every country that borders Russia is now a member of NATO. Aside from that, the Ukraine is a real good piece of real estate. It's a big piece of land. It's got a lot of good natural resources, and Putin wants that land back. The Ukrainian people, however, won't let it go without a fight. After all, it is their country. The Wall Street Journal reported more Ukrainians volunteering to fight than slots available in local military militia units. Right now, in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, legislators on both sides are working together to craft a bill that would put big sanctions on Russia should they decide to invade. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said last week that he and the government are working together to enact sanctions against Russia should they invade. But why help Ukraine? And why are the Ukrainian people preparing themselves for all-out war like no other? Because when Russia invaded Crimea back in 2014 and ended up annexing the territory, they turned the country into a third-rate hellhole. People fled the country. Now it's pretty hard for them to get out, and we should be helping them as well, too. But where did they go? Ukraine. The West and Ukraine don't want to end up like what happened in Crimea. It's been too long since the last major conflict, and now the war machine is starting up again, rearing its head. The question is, when will it start, and how bad will it really be? We've got one more thing left for you here on this week's JPTV Blue Team Show. William D's an exclusive interview with Coach Doug Goodwin.
I'm here with Coach Goodwin today, new head coach of Jackson Prep. Here to ask him a few questions and see what he has to say. So first, what interested you in the Jackson Prep job?
Well, I know Jackson Prep has a great tradition. And I was a high school coach for a long time in Alabama, and I knew about the football program over here. And then when it came open, a friend of mine suggested I check into it, and I did so, and here I am today.
That's great. Well, what eventually was the driving factor in getting you here?
Well, I made a decision a year or so ago to get back into high school because I felt like that I could have a greater influence on more people back in high school. And I've been in college for 7 years, and I decided this is what I needed to be. And the opportunity came about, and spoke with Dr. Coco and Coach Crosby, and one thing led to another, and I think this is the place where the good Lord wants us to be.
Yes, sir. So like you said, you've been in college, you've been at the high school level, and I know you played. So how do you feel like that experience will help you in coaching this football team?
Well, I think knowledge is one thing, experience is another. I think all wisdom comes from experience, and I've had a lot of experience. I coached high school for 29 years. 2 as an assistant and 27 as a head coach at 5 different schools. So I think that'll come into play because, I've worked with high school players and high school coaches for a long time. And then I think the experience at Auburn and Ole Miss will come into play because, I saw different ways to do things at 2 different places from, guys that knew what they were doing.
Different ways to do things would definitely describe this program over the past 2 years, completely switching from a run-heavy offense and to a pass heavy and air raid, more or less. I know you've probably seen multiple different schemes on both sides of the ball throughout your career as both a player and coach. Mm-hmm. What can fans expect if somebody asked you now? What can they expect to see the Jackson Prep football team look like in the coming years?
Well, I think we'll put a product on the field that everybody will be extremely proud of. We're going to ask our kids to play hard and to give maximum effort at all times. Defensively, we'll be a multiple defense, I think. I'm not real familiar with what our current coaches have been doing in the past, but I think the biggest thing with playing great defense is getting lined up correctly and then running to the football. So we'll stress pursuit and getting a bunch of people around the ball. Offensively, we'll be very multiple. What we'll do on offense will largely depend on what our quarterback is capable of doing and what kind of athletes we have. But we have the ability to be in no backs, 11 personnel, 12, or any personnel that you can actually put on the field. So we'll have packages for each group, and then we'll do what we think will hurt that defense the most and what our kids do the best.
Yes, sir. Spring ball is coming up. Always, it's what people look at when the second semester rolls around. How do you prepare on getting the players acclimated to all the playbook, the calls, everything that's new with the new coach?
Yeah, well, we'll start out with the basics. We'll start from a premise that even though we do have some guys that have played before, we'll start with the basics and we'll build on that. We'll have install meetings and we'll go over what we're going to do, the next day or in the coming weeks or whatsoever. So, it's a process. You got to lay the foundation with a base offense, and you got to build on it from there. And, the good thing about high school football nowadays is in the summer you can practice a lot and you can do a lot of stuff, and you can have your all three phases installed by the time the first game rolls around. And then as the season goes along, you just tweak it, from week to week.
Sir, and I think you got a good group with this because they've already been through that. A lot of these guys have. New coach last year, it was the same kind of process.
Yeah.
And obviously yours will be different, but at least players understand what it's like to have to learn everything quickly.
Right.
And get good at it because that's the end goal.
No question.
So the last question, in a year or even 5 years, what do you want the Jackson Prep football team to be known for? What do you want it to stand for?
We have two goals. Number one, I told the players that this morning. Number one, we want everybody that's involved with our football program to have a great experience. That means players, coaches, everybody involved, support people, the whole deal. The other thing is we don't win every single game we have a chance to win. What I envision in 5 years from now is winning a whole lot of football games and producing a lot of real good young men for society, and hopefully we can have an influence on that. And then, hopefully we can get back to winning some state championships.
Yes, sir. Well, let's get them back to where they belong. Thank you, and it was a pleasure to talk to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching JPTV. We are your anchors, Anders Morgan,
Peter Downing,
and William Dees.
We'll catch you next time.